Hi guys, today we are going to talk about Sonic Mania for the PS4. Yes! It's been a long time since I last talked about Sonic the Hedgehog in general. And I'm supposed to be Sonicfun. Yeah, this time I'm going to make amends for this. And if you are a first viewer in my channel and you don't know about Sonic the Hedgehog, let me give you a bit of a brief history about it. Sonic the Hedgehog, the video game, was released in June 23, 1991. It was made by the original Sonic team, who were none other than Yuji Naga, Naoto Oshima, Gina Ishiwatari, Rieko Kotawa. These people made the franchise that's gonna span a lot of fun games and some, let's say, some dirty fan art, to say the least. But anyway, let's forget about that. This game managed to revolutionize the platforming, meaning that Yuji Naka wanted to make a game that the character goes fast, and to demonstrate the capabilities of Sega Genesis. This game was so successful that it made Mario one of the biggest mascots in that era to be afraid of Sonic the Hedgehog, because Sonic won because of his attitude and his way the character was drawn and designed. And it worked so well, and it spawned so many sequels, spin-off, TV series, and particularly the Sonic Saturday morning cartoons, which was one of my favorite cartoons in Sonic, and of course the Sonic RG comic book series, which in my opinion is one of the best comic book video game license that was ever produced. Nobody will stop. I hope the other comics will continue it or surpass it. There was the Fleetway version, which was okay for the most part, but nothing really special. And Sega and Nintendo and the 90s were the strongest competitors. They fought each other like, let's say, like apples and oranges, to say the least. Things were going normally until the third dimension came in 1995, when video games had to go from 2D to 3D and PlayStation came. And this was the era where Sega, it was going slowly for its downfall in video game consoles. Mario jumped to the third dimension incredibly well with Super Mario 64 that is still beloved by the retro fans and the Nintendo fans, of course, because let's be real, they're gonna buy the game again when it's gonna come back to Virtual Console, let's be honest about it. And Sonic, well, he didn't really had a good transition in the third dimension. And in Sega Saturn, he barely had a main video game on the main series. Instead, it only had some spin-off and one compilation. And the one compilation is none other than Sonic Jump. Sonic Jump is just a compilation of the original Sonic games, meaning Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and the famous Sonic World mode, which you can control Sonic in a small 3D world. And this is basically the only thing we're gonna see Sonic in a 3D environment at best. They were trying to make a 3D game in Sega Saturn, which was Sonic Extreme, and unfortunately it failed, and some of the ideas followed in Sonic the Lost World, which I did a review about, which you can check it out at the link's description below. And it also had the famous racing game, Sonic R. And let's not forget the most popular music that is always gonna stuck in our mind. Yes, that goddamn music. And its terrible controls. But when Sega and Dreamcast released, Sonic had a good glimpse of hope in terms of 3D games, and its first video game in 3D was none other than the most famous Sonic Adventure. This game made Sonic the Hedgehog great again, because of the 3D environment, and Sonic could go really fast and demonstrate the Sega Dreamcast capabilities. Although let's be honest, the lip syncing is terrible. The mouths are so fucking ugly, even by today's standards. And the voice acting, god damn it, it's either from okay to terrible. And let's not forget the most infamous gameplay, Big the Cat. Hooray, just fishing for a damn frog in a Sonic game where the objective is to go fast, or can I go fast?
the fuck? I hope that we can never see this shitty character ever again. Let's not forget that Sonic South will ever exist, so let's throw that to the trash can. And Sonic Adventure 2 improved a little bit the graphics, the presentation, and the story got a bit better. And let's not forget the most popular character that every Sonic fan either loves the character or thinks he's the most edgiest character of all time. Shadow the Hedgehog. Hell yeah. But unfortunately, PlayStation 2 arrived, and it was extremely popular to the point that Sega stopped production of Dreamcast, and from now on they just made their games on any other game console. Sonic games before Shadow the Hedgehog were okay at best. I liked Sonic Heroes, it was my second game that I played on the franchise. I had fond memories about it. Shadow the Hedgehog was my first game in Sonic series that I actually played, and I was 10, and I thought that a hedgehog with a gun, an edgy personality, and some curse words were the coolest thing ever. Yeah, I was such a mature kid. Whatever. That game marked the downfall of the Sonic series because having a hedgehog cursing was awkward, the story was a mess, the karma mechanic was pointless since there was a true ending, meaning that if you did any choice in the game, it was very pointless. But the actual downfall of the series was none other than Sonic 06. Sonic 06 was the game that made the series die. It has such a potential, but the thing is, the bestiality ruined it, the plot was a mess, and let's be honest, some of the glitches are very well known. Sonic was never the same after this. There were some good games once in a while, but not a main good game. Then Sonic Unleashed came and kinda rekilled the interest in the franchise. Sonic Colors improved the day gameplay of Sonic Unleashed, and it was one of the first good games in Sonic that we've seen in a while, and particularly a very good Sonic 3D game. Then Generations came, and it was, in my opinion, one of the best 3D Sonic games, and it was a game that was celebrating the 20th anniversary of the franchise. Sonic Lost World came, and it was met with mixed reactions. Then Sonic Boom, well, the name was obvious, Sonic Boom, came, and it wasn't part of the main series, and it killed the franchise once again. It even made Sonic 06 to be at least a game. This one didn't even know what it wanted, and the story was shit. And people once again lost hope to the franchise. However, in 2016, there were two announcements for two games. One, Sonic Mania, made by the actual fans who made their own fun games. And another main installment from the Sonic team, Sonic Forces. And today's review, we're going to look at Sonic Mania, and people were excited about this game.
Yes guys, without any delay, let's get started.
The story begins after the events of Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic and Tails receive a powerful energy reading from Major Island and board their biplane, the Tornado, to investigate. But Eggman, meaning Dr. Robotnik back at the old times, sends an elite group of egg robots to reach the signal before Sonic and Tails. The egg robots excavate the source of the signal, a magical gemstone called the Phantom Ruby. Just as Sonic and Tails arrive, the egg robots gain new power from the Ruby, becoming the hard-boiled heavies, and set Sonic and Tails, and of course Knuckles, on the other side, to a place they have previously visited where they pursued Eggman to prevent him from using the Ruby's power for evil, clashing with him and the heavies along the way. The story is okay, but it kinda feels like an afterthought, because Takashi Iizuka told them that they have to do the story kinda like this, but I don't wanna spoil why is that, but the way the cutscenes were done, it felt very reminiscent to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, like how they do it. And thus the adventure begins. But let's remember one crucial thing. Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 are no longer canon. If you heard me right, the story takes place after Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And Sonic 4 was supposed to take place after this as well. And since those episodes were cancelled, meaning they're out of existence, and I have to say this. Alright. That felt refreshing. So let's talk about the animated intro. Right from the start, the animated intro catches you immediately with oozy presentation. The frames are consistent, the animation is incredible, the transitions are amazing, and the characters, they be able to tell you what kind of personality they have through their body languages. Even if you don't know them at all, they can tell you by their movement and how they interact with each other. And it's very reminiscent to one of the most famous Sonic intros in 1993. And you know what kind of intro I'm talking about. Exactly, it's Sonic CD intro. And of course the famous soundtrack is none other than... Exactly. This intro in Sonic Mania, it has almost the same influence and style, but here this game basically tells you it's all about the fun, the excitement, the thrill and the challenge. It was drawn by an RG comic book artist, Tylon Hess, and he did a spectacular job and demonstrates capabilities as an animator as well. In another Sonic game there was another 2D intro, and that game was Sonic Riders, which was decent, although it lacked the strong punch that Sonic CD has. And Sonic Mania seems to follow that. It's gonna have some of the impact that Sonic CD has, but not strong, but still very close enough. And just like Sonic CD, at the end of the game there's also an end animation that shows what happened after the end of the game. But in Sonic Mania, on the other hand, it shows also the bad ending, what happened if you didn't collect all the Chaos Emeralds and you need to go back and collect them. And also if you have the good ending, it's gonna show you the true ending of each of the characters in Sonic Mania. Alright, now let's talk about the graphics of the game. The graphics of the game are spectacular. This is the case of scenario of what would have happened if the original Sonic team continued making the 2D Sonic games in Sega Saturn. That would have been the results, and the results are awesome. The original stages are one of the best stages that I've ever seen in a Sonic game. Although they are the original stages from the original video game counterparts, but instead of be just reusing stages, they add some nice elements to keep them fresh and not be the same thing that you have seen from the previous games. Because Takashi Iizuka told them after he was impressed with the Studiopolis and the original stages to bring the old stages back. If Iizuka didn't tell them to put the original stages, then this game would have been 100% original, and the stages in the original stages are awesome. And the animations of the characters and the enemies are very smooth, there is no jerky animation, and everything goes accordingly. And in the special stages, which is very reminiscent to Sonic CD, all the characters have a low poly 3D model, which is very reminiscent to Sonic Jam and of course Sonic R. And I have to say that this team is very passionate, and also this game is made by the fans for the fans, not the, let's say, those fans, to say the least. Let's go talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is just like every 2D Sonic that was released in Sega Genesis. But in this game, they refine it and they take the best elements of the Sonic the Hedgehog in the Genesis era and improve upon them. You control Sonic, Tails and Knuckles. You can also choose Sonic and Tails together, but you can also choose them separately. Sonic runs fast using spin dash and defeats the enemies by jumping upon them and reach at the end of the stage with the power of speed. Tails, on the other hand, can fly to reach some unreachable points that Sonic cannot reach, but he can fly on limited time. Knuckles can glide and destroy the walls that are breakable in order to reach some other aspect that either Sonic and Tails cannot go. Sonic and Tails together, you can use Tails to fly a bit, but only for a limited time as well. And also for their super forms, they can also do that for a limited time as well. So basically, the gameplay is just like in their previous counterparts of the Genesis era, but very better and very much refined. Christian Whitehead used his own engine, the Retro engine, which can reproduce games back on the Genesis era and be closer to the Sega Saturn. He also mentioned that this engine can also make Castlevania games and some other games like Ristar, Knuckles Chaotix and Dynamite Heady, but we're not here to talk about the engine capabilities that Christian Whitehead had made. We're here to talk about Sonic Mania, but I have to say that this engine definitely captures the original physics of Sonic the Hedgehog in the Genesis era and not that abomination over there. In the special stage, they took also a bit of elements in Sonic CD, and instead of just destroying all the robots, you just have to hunt one robot in order to collect all the 7 Chaos Emeralds in order to unlock each of the characters' gameplay, their super form. And there is the bonus stage, which is just like, guess what? Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So instead of just collecting either Chaos Emeralds or Super Emeralds, just collect all the blue spheres that you get to unlock some unlockable content, which is it's not bad, but it's nothing wowing. Guys, you could have easily just bring the hyper forms back. That would have been cool, but okay, what can I say? Ah well. But the highlight of the gameplay is none other than the boss fights. Boss fights are some of the most creative boss fights that I ever seen in a Sonic game. A few of the examples I'm gonna give you is one of the boss fights in Chemical Plant Zone 2, which is very reminiscent to none other than the video game Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And I have to say, I was extremely surprised to see this kind of a boss fight in a Sonic game, which was very cool and a nice way to say, yes guys, we played all the games, and so it's cool. In another stage, particularly the Mirage Saloon Zone Act 2, you have to fight a heavy magician. During the fight, the magician is gonna use one of the boxes to transform to the most popular fan favorite characters that you've seen in the old games, particularly in Sonic Triple Trouble and Sonic the Fighter, meaning Funk the Sniper, Bean the Dynamite and Bark the Polar Bear are here to fight them in a 2D game. We haven't seen those characters in ages, and I have to say, bravo guys, you've won me, you know your shit exactly, and that's why you are truly great Sonic fans and you get a strong appreciation. And now let's talk about the music. My god, the music is incredible. Even the bad games like Sonic 06 has an awesome soundtrack, but this soundtrack is fantastic, and it was composed by T. Lopes. T. Lopes loves music, and especially he loves Sonic the Hedgehog music, and you can tell it's a very passionate project, and I'm using some of the music during explaining my review, so you can definitely get an idea about this guy's music. And he also has a YouTube channel, which you can check it down in the description below. You need to listen to some of his music, it's amazing. The game is a bit short, you can finish it without collecting all the Chaos Emeralds and unlock the true ending for each individual characters. You can finish it in less than 4 hours at best. I would have preferred if it was a bit longer, but for this kind of game I can kinda forgive it. There are also plenty of other modes as well, like the multiplayer from Sonic 2. It was a good reference to say, but come on, the split screen is still ugly as hell. There's also the time attack, you need to finish the stage and also surpass your previous record, so yeah, they are decent and nice time passer, but it's nothing really incredible. I think I said more than enough about Sonic Mania and a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, so I think we should go to my conclusion to this review.
In conclusion to this review, Sonic Mania is one of the best 2D Sonic games of all time. With my complaints that the game feels a bit short, and that the special stages a la Sonic 3 felt a bit pointless since you don't collect Super Emeralds in order to become hyper, but that's my small nitpick. But under that, this game is incredible and a true sequel to the Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'm looking forward for this group since they are true fans and not these, how can I say, cuckoo. So yes guys, my rating for this game is 8.9 out of 10. Thanks guys for watching this game review, make sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and have a good gaming.